Experts are saying that if you are not learning AI, you are already falling behind because within 2 years, 80% of jobs will require some kind of AI knowledge. But before you dive into the AI ecosystem, you need to learn a couple of terminologies, including API, MCP, connectors, skills, and plugins. And you might have heard those words somewhere. In this video, I'll explain it in plain and simple English. They are really important, especially in relation to Claude AI. So, application programming interface, which is also called API in short, this is basically a set of rules that two softwares agree on that we will communicate with each other while following these conditions. Visually, we interact with the computer using an interface. For example, we use the keyboard, we use the mouse, we use the monitor, we use the buttons, but softwares themselves, they do not communicate visually. They communicate with each other under a set of rules, which is called an API. If one software, for example, this is my app and I want to communicate with another app, it asks me that you have to give me a structured request in a specific format, and you have to comply with this endpoint, and you have to get an API key in order for you to get a response out of my software, and that response will also be in a structured format. Every software has its own API, its own rules, its own format. YouTube API is completely different from OpenAI API, and so on. So it also creates a problem because if you want your app to connect to all of them, you have to run every single one from scratch separately. That's months of work, and this exact problem is what led to the creation of MCP, which we'll go to next. So MCP is also called Model Context Protocol. It was created by Anthropic. So previously what was happening is this thing in the middle, it was not here. Claude had to directly ask YouTube, Gmail, LinkedIn, Stripe in their own language that I want this data from you because Claude was asked by its user. And Claude had to understand the language of each and every single one of these APIs. Claude thought about it and said that this is too much. It requires a lot of computational power. This is tedious. Claude said, why not I create my own language for connecting to external tools? So Claude created MCP. This is a universal standardized language for AI so that AI can connect to these tools seamlessly. Essentially what happened was, instead of talking to them in their language, Claude made a universal language for AI and asked them that you have to make your tools compatible with this. So now instead of Claude speaking to them in their own language, it speaks to them in Claude's language, and they had to respond because Claude has millions of users and these companies do not want to miss on those on that revenue. Besides, MCP is open source, so it is now industry standard used by Google and OpenAI. Plus also, if these companies do not want to make their API MCP compatible, some third party can come along and make it MCP compatible because their APIs are public documentation. So some people are confused by it, but connectors are not something special. They are basically MCP. But these MCP are verified and hosted by Anthropic. So they are built in, embedded into the Claude ecosystem. You do not have to find it and download it and run it independently. Claude has made them available to you. You just click on it, sign in with your account, then Claude now has full access to these tools. And they are available for some of the most commonly used tools. So this is what connectors are. They are just MCP made effortless. We are at plugin. What is plugin? Plugin is something that bundles skills plus connectors plus slash commands together, and it gives you a specialist in a field. So if you want a legal expert or a sales expert or a productivity expert, you install that relevant plugin and then you ask that plugin questions related to legal or sales or productivity, finance or marketing, and it will give you an expert advice. Instead of giving you a general advice, it will give you an expert advice. So this is what plugin is. It is just a bundle, a combination of skills and connectors and commands. So what is skills? A skill is a single focused capability that teaches Claude how to do one task specifically well. For example, if you ask Claude to do make a Word document, it can make a Word document, but if you want certain tweaks in it and if you want to enhance the output, you can upload a skills file and it will then enhance the ability of Claude to make a more refined output of the Word document. This is what skills are. Plus, what differentiates skills from plugins? Plugin is a whole role and plugin contains a bundle of skills. Skill is only one capability. So Anthropic has built-in skills like Canvas Design, MCP Builder, Skills Creator. Community can also build skills and you can create your own custom skills. So that is what skills is.